Hi, I'm Jeanne Murphy, and this is Talented People. Thanks for watching. Today, our guest is Ann Marie Gardinier Halstead. She's the Associate Professor and Co-Chair of the Performance and Communication Art Department at St. Lawrence University. She's also a contributor to Huffington Post Parents, 30-Second Mom, and Mariah Media. Welcome to our show, Ann Marie.
Hi, great to be here, Jeanne.
Yes, it's great to have you. We want to share, you have, with all your writings and everything that you've been doing, a tremendous amount of influence on a lot of people. And so you've created a play, you have a book, and then you also have a song. And we want you to tell us all about those products and what you're doing.
Thank you. I love the idea that what I'm doing might influence some people, especially children. It all started when I adapted Carol McCloud's books for the stage. Her first book, Have You Filled a Bucket Today, is about this idea that we all have an invisible bucket inside us, and we fill each other's buckets by saying and doing kind things. And then in contrast, we dip into each other's buckets or dip each other's buckets when we say or do unkind things. And it's really a very simple idea that kids can grasp and use to express their feelings and to solve conflicts with each other without even having to involve adults. And it's working really, really well in elementary schools across the U.S. and even in other countries. Her books are in many other languages, for instance. And so I had the idea to adapt her book, two of her books actually, for the stage. And so my play is called Have You Filled a Bucket Today, the same title as her first book. And it's being produced by many different kinds of groups, schools, colleges, churches, character education groups, and of course theater companies too, across the US, and it's been done in Canada and Australia. And we're finding that kids really respond well to it. And as somebody who's been teaching theater for many years, I guess it doesn't really surprise me all that much that kids are responding to theater, because I know that theater is really good for kids. Kids respond to the arts. There are cognitive and affective benefits for the arts, and we've known that for a really long time. So I've had a great time seeing kids respond to the play. And my next step really was to write a children's book.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did you create any original characters for the play?
I did, yeah. So I took the concept of Carol's books and I decided to theatricalize it by creating original characters and an original setting. So I set the play at a summer camp, and of course we have kids who are campers, including the main character camper who's named Trey, and he's named after one of my own kids. And he learns about bucket filling from the original characters I created, like Mimi the camp counselor and Professor Smarty Pants III. And kids get a kick out of him because he's very full of himself and kind of wacky. And bucket filling Fairy, who we call BFF, and she's a magical character who speaks in rhyme. And she's the character that my picture book is about. And really, kids are the inspiration for the picture book, because I've had the great good fortune of going to a lot of the performances of the play. Mm-hmm. Theater companies and schools will invite me to their productions, and I'll go to as many as I can. And what has amazed me is how kids have responded in particular to BFF. They will basically charge the stage to meet her and hug her and get her autograph, get a picture with her. And I really took that seriously, and I thought, how can we share this message and bucket filling Fairy as a character with more children? And not everybody can get to the theater, and the play isn't everywhere yet. So I thought maybe we can do that with a children's book. And so my book is coming out this fall. It's published by Mascot Books, and I'm really excited about it.
I bet you are. So let me ask you a question. Tell us about the song then, and also how this all ties together.
Okay, so the song is called the Bucket Filling Song, and I loved collaborating with this group, Peaceful Schools. They are an organization, a character ed organization in Syracuse, New York, and they've been touring my play for 2 years to schools in their region, and they're actually expanding their region and going into year 3 of the tour in the fall, which is just one of those other things that I'm just so pleasantly surprised by. I couldn't have anticipated that a group would be touring my play for as long as they have, and their production is wonderful. wonderful, and the mission of their organization is so special. And so they had the idea to collaborate on this song with me. And now the lyrics of the song are already in the script. I have the words of this bucket filling song in the play. And I indicate that producers of the show have the option of either doing it as a poem or as a song. And if they want to do a song, they can set it to their own music. But either way, Bucket Filling Fairy teaches this to the audience. And the words end with, together we can be a bucket filling nation. And so Peaceful Schools were doing the song, and it was getting great feedback. And schools were saying things like, can we get the sheet music? Can we get a CD? Can we get a download? Because we'd like to do the song at our spring concert. Or parents were saying, we'd like to use the song in our home to continue this message of bucket filling. So together they used their music and we used my lyrics. And of course, their Bucket Filling Fairy leads the charge. And we have the song out on iTunes, and people can find it by going to iTunes and either searching the Bucket Filling Song as the title or Peaceful Schools as the artist. And we tried to keep all of this very affordable for families. So you can do the song for 99 cents and use it at home or in the classroom to, again, further this message of bucket filling.
I think that's fantastic. So now you're saying that where's the best place for someone to go again to purchase that?
They just go to iTunes and they can search either by artist, which would be Peaceful Schools because they're the voices on the tracks, or they can search by title, which is the bucket filling song. And what's really fun is it's not just the one track. They can buy just the one track, which is all the actors singing, and of course the lyrics are there. But there are other options too. They can have a track that just has the instrumental music. So if a school, a classroom, for example, wanted to sing with their own voices and just have the instrumental in the background, they can do that. We have a version that is called the campfire version, which has different kinds of instruments. So there are a lot of different options for people there on iTunes.
How much fun is that? Well,
yeah, we had a great time with it.
Congratulations, and keep us posted as your book comes out and on all your success.
Thank you.